just now. You make me feel low.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video what I want to talk about is my childhood. I'm still in that YouTuber slump at the moment, so I took it upon myself to go to Twitter and ask you guys what you wanted me to talk about in today's video, and one of the first replies was about my childhood. I can't just sit here and complain about my childhood, but at the same time I can't tell everyone that I had the best childhood. Because overall it wasn't the greatest, but at the same time it could have been a lot worse. I actually grew up with 4 older brothers, so if it all clicks as to why I play Call of Duty and act the way I do, that is why. As I see my childhood now, looking back at it, like, I had the most screwy childhood, I guess you could say. I have a good childhood because, for one, I witnessed my brothers get abused, I witnessed my mom get emotionally abused, and that is just something you never want to see as a child. Especially a child that is very impressionable, doesn't really know what's going on at that point, like why it's happening, like it's just... It could have ended very bad for myself. And the reason why my childhood wasn't the worst thing ever is because I didn't get abused. I witnessed everyone else in my family get abused, and I was basically left untouched. Yeah, I grew up with that in the back of my head. Like, I witnessed my brothers and my mom get abused, all that kind of shit. Like, I witnessed my brothers getting into drugs, drinking, and just a bunch of bullshit. I kind of just, like, made it out okay, I guess you could say. There's so much stuff that I could go into depth about and make videos about, but it's just unnecessary to put on the internet. I wanted to talk about this though because a lot of people are curious as to like why I don't talk to my dad and all that stuff, and this is why. Like, it just, when I knew him and talked to him and I seen him every day, it just wasn't pleasant. I have nothing bad to say about him now, as for the fact that everything has changed. My mom passed away. All 3 of my brothers are out doing what they do for life, whether it be doing drugs, selling drugs, getting arrested, or trying to do good for themselves. They're all doing their own thing right now. And same with my dad. He's doing his thing, and as far as I know, he's doing good. So I really have nothing bad to say now, but as for when I was a kid, it just wasn't the greatest atmosphere. Witnessing my brothers get abused, my mom get abused, I could have been very impressionable at this point and, you know, turn into a fucking huge asshole that just bullied others, but maybe that's the way I turned out. I had a not so good childhood. I witnessed my mom and my brothers be treated like shit and feel like shit, so I kind of knew in the back of my head that I didn't want to make anyone feel like that ever. I do feel though like a lot of people are shaped the way they are due to what happens in their childhood. But it's honestly just dependent on the person. Some people are just jerks in general, and that's just how they are. And then some people, you know, started off as good people, but had a life occurrence, and they're now fucking assholes. You know, like, I feel like a childhood is very important. And when it comes to life, if you have a not so good childhood, you can't blame that on every bad decision you make. Because I know my brothers are into drugs, they're into drinking, they're really into getting arrested apparently, and they're just shit disturbers. My brothers were jailbirds. That's literally all they did, was get arrested, do drugs, you know, beat people up, have run-ins with the law. It was hard to see as a kid. It was hard to witness that as a kid because obviously I couldn't stop it, and, you know, there was really nothing I could do as an individual to help them at that point. But to this day, when they get caught for doing stuff and they're thinking about their life and what they're doing with it, they always seem to be blaming it on what happened in their childhood. I do agree with a lot that happens with your childhood shapes people and how they act as adults and stuff, but just because you have a shitty childhood doesn't mean you can make shitty decisions, you know what I mean? I love my brothers with all my heart. They're the best people I've known, but their decisions they make, their skills when it comes to decision making, they're absolutely trash. When I look at my childhood, no, I didn't get abused. My brothers did. All this shit, like, a lot of bad shit happened to my brothers growing up, and, like, I can fully admit that. And when it comes to me growing up, I just watched it all happen. Both ways, it's super shitty, and no kid should have to deal with it. But at the same time, I'm not using me witnessing my brothers get abused, having a poor home life, as a reason to bully others, get arrested, do drugs and drink. Like, I'm not using misfortune to make bad decisions. And I feel like that's an important statement. Because a lot of people that are making bad decisions blame it on things that they have no control over. I'm doing drugs because this happened in my life. Like, I get it, but seriously, move on from it and be a better person. I honestly don't want to make this video focus on how I had a bad childhood, so I'm trying to give you guys advice here to make good decisions. Kind of how you look at a bad situation, right? So if you look at a bad situation like, oh my god, like this is not going to ever end well for me kind of thing, it's just not going to end well. If you look at a bad situation and be like, hey, that's shitty, and move on and be positive, good things will happen. Sit around being negative, blaming things on things you can't control, and then use that as an excuse as to why you're doing shitty and making shitty decisions. I made it out to where I am today. I graduated high school, which most of them haven't. I think 2 out of the 3 brothers I have didn't actually graduate high school. If not all of them, I'm not quite sure. But out of the 4 children, I am the youngest and I have graduated high school. I've gotten a license, I bought my first car, and I've made good decisions for myself. I had to deal with somewhat the same things, just in different ways, I guess you could say. I witnessed the abuse, they dealt with the abuse. And you can't say that's the same thing because being abused and then witnessing it is just not the same thing. What's the word I'm looking for? I experienced it a little different, but it still happened. Yeah, I'm not saying, you know, I had a shitty childhood, I'm gonna make poor decisions and this is why I'm failing. I took what happened to me and I tried to make good decisions. I graduated, got all that stuff I just mentioned, and I'm doing good for myself. As for my brothers, one of them is MIA. I'm pretty sure he's in jail or rehab. I honestly couldn't fucking tell you. It's honestly pathetic. But he's MIA. That would be Alex, my older brother. My second oldest brother is Robert. He recently just got out of jail, and as far as I know, he's trying to do good for himself. So props to him for trying. I talked to him and all that. Like, I have no hard feelings against my brothers. I know the decisions that they were making in the past weren't correct. They weren't the right things to do. Hence the reason why they got arrested and all that shit. But if he's really trying to turn his life around, then honestly I'll be with him every step of the way and I will support him. But as soon as he goes back to what he was doing and just being a shithead, that's when I cut all ties. As for the brother that is just a year older than me, he's doing good. I think he has a job. I don't know if he has a license yet, but as far as I know, he's staying out of trouble and he's doing good. Yeah, those are my brothers, and like, I'm not trying to make them sound like awful people because they're not, but they did make shitty decisions that got them into shitty places, and I felt like I should share this video. I was gonna do it eventually, and to be honest, I don't know how well it's gonna turn out. I just want to send a message across to you guys that if you have a bad childhood or, you know, your family's struggling, don't use that as an excuse to make poor decisions. Because it's not hard to make the good decision. It may take longer to get where you want to be in life, whether it be for money, just success, anything. Just do it the right way. Don't take any shortcuts because it just screws you over in the end, and I just want you guys to all have amazing lives. Despite the shittiness in the world, everyone has the ability to make good decisions and, you know, have a good life. And I think everyone should put their best foot forward and be the best they can be. But this video is getting a little longer than I had hoped, and I probably didn't even explain much about my own childhood besides giving you guys advice. But if I think of any stories about my childhood in particular, like if anything pops into my head from when I was younger, I'll make sure to make a video about it and explain it in like the way I remember it. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you could take anything out of this video positively, leave a like, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And just again, guys, thank you for all the support. I've gained over 1,000 new subscribers overnight, and just thank you. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tell me what's the point of life? Is it material?